2025, Babaji asked me to share one message, and I did in the group. And you got the message, all of you. Now, also, I have been instructed to, explain that there are many things there. So, what was actually meant by Babaji, I will share that today. So, I have the transcript of that video and have downloaded it. And now I will go through that transcript and I will stop, after few sentences, and I'll explain you the background, just the meaning. And in this particular case, in this particular thing, if you are not clear, you can just raise your hand then and there. Don't wait till the end of the question answer session, because as such, there will be no question answer session for today. So anytime you think that that particular thing is not very clear, you can raise your hand or you can ask to clarify, we'll clarify. The end of the question answers can be there, but in this particular, I will be just reading the transcript and explaining the things, it is better because it will go from one topic to another. There's a long message. Rather than waiting till the end, you can ask and get yourself clarified. So that is you're welcome to do so. Basically, I'm saying no need to wait till the end of this. So, and original, that message was about 20 minutes message. So, which has been recorded and posted as a YouTube link, and I shared that. So, now I'll be reading the transcript and I will be just explaining that things. If someplace it is not, I feel not necessarily it needs an explanation, I will just move on. Wherever I think that it is some area that is meant I need to focus on, I will spend more time there, like that. So, and I hope to complete it within 1.5 hours, because today we started half an hour late today. So we will finish it by 1 hour 30 minutes time. Normally we have up to the 9:30 p.m. India time. By that time, we should be able to make it over. All right. So with this, let me start going into that the transcript directly. So I'll be reading few lines, as I mentioned, and then start explaining. A call from the realm of silence. Okay, let me stop in the first line. Yeah? See, Babaji is telling that when in that message was there, he is when he was giving that message, then he was in the realm of silence. You may recall that just one session before, last week, we had a session itself on silence, right? The power of silence, the communication of the silence. So do you think it is just a coincidence that 1 week before that we had a session on silence, and then Babaji is in the next week, Babaji is giving us the message of the new year and saying that I am from the realm of silence. Anyway, I'm just pointing it out. I will leave it to you, your own interpretations, and how do you feel? But the realm of silence is you can say the core of the spiritual domain. There is no content there. In that particular realm, there is no content. It is only vibrating silence. There is no other thing. It is the force that created the universe. That realm, but Babaji is communicating. I'm just wanted to remind you about that, because otherwise, why Babaji will say that I'm speaking from our message is from the realm of silence. Yeah. Consider the things from divine and all this kind of things and the higher dimension, but Babaji particularly mentioned about silence. So I find it is very, very, important. So that's why I just stopped in the first line, and I'll just try to connect you that what Babaji's first sentence is about and what we did, just last week about that. All right. So now, my dear friend, tonight, as people call it, January 1st, 2026, there are actually no numbers changing. What is moving is not time. but consciousness. So here Babaji wants to, make it clear that here what for us to understand, we are thinking the time is moving because we perceive the time as a calendar, year ending, month ending, and going to one year to another, and all those kind of things. If you say the truth is time is not moving, yeah? So time does not move. That higher dimension, it is in eternal now. It never moves. It is in eternity. It is that truth is there. So even if we perceive that if 1 year ended, another year started, means time is moving, time is not moving. Actually, the truth is. So what is moving? Moving, Babaji is saying, our consciousness is moving. Basically, our consciousness is expanding. So whatever we were one day before and today what we are, we have just enriched ourselves by the consciousness or experiences, you can say. So in this, even though the message is for New Year, but Babaji is saying New Year, it is human creation. What is moving is a consciousness, human consciousness. All of us, we are individually growing in consciousness. And then we level to higher, the result of that is our awareness development. We go into the higher level of awareness. It's not, there is no such specific measure of that because it is we are all walking our unique path. So, and even if you compare, you say different people, spiritually at the different level, in their own scale, they are at different level because they have not achieved their goal yet. That's fine. Also, somebody is saying highly spiritual, somebody is not interested in spirituality, and somebody is in a seeker. All of them are in a different level of awareness. That's all. So that's why they are. It's not higher and lower, but they are walking their own unique path. So here Babaji is pointing it out that what is moving is a consciousness. We are expanding our consciousness, and that has been at this level of our awareness and understanding of the truth. Because when we go to higher level of awareness, our understanding of the truth changes. Anyway, let me read on. Time, as you understand it, is merely a shadow created by the mind to measure movement. But the soul does not move with that clock. The soul only opens or closes, remembers or forgets. So Babaji is saying another, our concept of time, he said it is just something shadow created by mind. What does that mean? Why it is shadow? Because it is not the truth. Flowing time is not the truth. Timelessness is the truth. Eternity, that, present moment, the now moment is the truth. Time is not. So that's why Babaji is mentioning merely a shadow created by the mind to measure movement. Because if we have to define one particular type of movement, suppose a vehicle is moving from one place to another. So we have to say at particular clock time it was here and now it is here. So that is this movement. To explain that, we say, okay, at 5:30 it was there, by 5:45 it reached here, and by 6 o'clock it reached there. So we need time to define that movement. Yeah. So that's what the mind has created this kind of time. But second, Babaji is saying, but the soul does not move with that clock. Soul is witnessing everything. Soul is a background of everything that this whole thing is being played. So soul is not moving. Soul is witnessing. Soul is not moving. So here Babaji says soul only opens or closes, remembers or forgets. Yeah. So for soul, it is just witnessing. So when you can say the soul in that case opens and closes, means sometimes it is active and sometimes the soul is not active. Then you can say that that part when not active, it is, that is forgotten in our language. So tonight is sacred because so many souls stand before the same threshold. So here Babaji is talking about the many souls has chosen, for some threshold. You may be reading these lines in a silence or amidst the noise of the world. But if you are here, it tells me one thing. Within you, there is a question that has never been fully answered. Now, see, here Babaji is telling that we are in the threshold. Which is that threshold? No matter, Babaji is saying, no matter where you are, how you are listening it is not important. Why you are here, you are listening here, you are listening to this because there is a question that never been fully answered, question within you. That question is not fully answered, and that's why you are here. That's why the query. That's why we are open to understand something, to know something, because there is something within us which is not fully answered yet. Somebody wants to join. Okay. So that is, let me go back to that. So it's not answered. So what is that about? So it's not a question about success, not a question about love, but it is an ancient, deeply hidden question. Who am I when everything else falls apart? That who am I is the fundamental question. That one point of life, I just try to avoid the use word the time. One point of life, if there is a questions come from within, who am I, what I am doing here? From there, our spiritual journey starts. Here, Babaji is saying that who am I when everything else falls apart? What does that mean? Means we are developing our life with a certain things, like a certain goal of our life, nothing around that, maybe career, maybe some, the wealth we wanted to create, the things we like to do, and, things like to possess, and whatever. So, sometime life hits us and those things falls apart. Means whatever we are running, whatever thinking that this is our life, we are running behind it. When that falls apart, at certain moment, without our control, without our planning, unexpectedly, then we start questioning, who am I? Means, what is the meaning of all those things? Yeah, that is the hidden question, which is these are not answered. That is the truth is, that is the question is hounding us somewhere in between. We didn't get all the answer. In search of that, we pursue many things, and we finally ended up into spirituality and all those kind of things. So whether we exactly get the answer, it's not important, because sometimes the question dissolves because it loses its relevance. When the truth is so high powerful, that question dissolves. Let me give a quick example, my favorite one. Say, suppose I never, boarded aeroplane. I never, took a flight. I never seen an aeroplane. So, and I was always aware of the traffic rule. Somebody has already gone into some aeroplane, and I'm asking at how it is. In my idea will be which maybe bigger than a brass, maybe one kind of, it's moving very high speed so that it can go longer, etc. So a obvious question I ask is it It follows the traffic rule. It stops in the red light. Whereas part said no. So this question is foolish. Maybe question is very important in my mind because I wanted to know whether after going to that kind of speed where like a bus, should it stop in the signal or not? But when the truth reveals itself, when I myself gone into that flight and you understand how it works and things like that, then I understand that question is no meaning. Like whether it stops in the red light or not, it is a irrelevant question there. It is not applicable there. Exactly, that is the kind of questions we may had about our own life purpose and things like that. When the truth, by the light of the truth, it is revealed, and when it is revealed, that it loses its relevance. It's gone. That question does not exist anymore. Like whether aeroplane stops in the red light or not, that question disappears because the truth reveals itself, and that question, the relevance of that question, no longer be there. That is what I am saying, that we may have many questions, but not necessarily all questions are answered or need to be answered. As simple as that. Truth reveals itself, the question dissolves by itself. Okay, so that is the kind of thing happens. All right, let's move on. Who am I when everything falls apart? Okay, I didn't come tonight to promise miracles. Yeah, Babaji is very clear. Please do this for me and all those kind of things. So Babaji is saying, I have not come tonight to promise miracles. I didn't come to predict the future. I do not come here to give you some kind of movie that this is your future. I come to remind you, because the wonderful thing that's about to happen won't be noisy. Means it will not come with a big bang. It will silently come. It won't need dazzling light. There will be no show. It will happen very gently, like the moment you suddenly realize, I have never really left the light. You see? Okay. Now let me I'm just trying to figure out how I can explain this. See, Babaji is telling that all of us, we are trying to say that we want towards the light, we want towards the prakash, we want to know something towards the truth. The fundamental, the hypothesis in this journey is I'm not there. So that's why I'm searching. That's why I'm seeking. That's why I'm going. I'm traveling. It's my journey towards the light. Become enlightened. Towards the light. Babaji is saying that actually suddenly you realize that you never left the light. Means you are not gone anywhere. So there is no question of coming back or searching for it, looking for it. Only the misunderstanding has to go that you are not light. This is your misunderstanding. You are that. But only the misunderstanding, I'm not that, I have to reach further, I have to go there, I have to do so many things and all those kind of things. This is the misunderstanding. And if that goes, you are. Previously also you were light, now also you are light. But now, Babaji says, moment you suddenly realize. Now only thing, what changed? You realized that you are light. Earlier you are not accepting. You are in a mind construct that you are not light. So that construct has dropped. And you realize that you are light. Yeah. Interesting. Then Babaji is saying, listen not with your ears, but with the deepest part of you, the place that has never been heard. Okay. What does that mean? Anything which is the layers what we put on by the, we can say in our terminology, the patterns, what you picked up, conditionings. Different kind of conditionings, childhood conditioning, parental conditioning, social conditioning, so on and so forth. Those kind of things, and all those are subject to get hurt from the external forces. If some layer within you is hard already, then it changes its configuration. It cannot, like like a say bell. So maybe if somebody put a hammer to the bell and bell is now twisted, it cannot make, it cannot give the same sound, pure sound. Some layer within you, if it is a heart, then it cannot emit the truth because it is deformed. So here Babaji is saying that listen not with your ears, but ear has a limited capacity, some 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, right? But with the deepest part of you. How deep? The place that has never been heard. Means no layer of conditioning has put on top of it. That core, that is the deepest level. So that means indirectly you have to get out of all these kind of conditionings, which can be manipulated by the external forces, and those cannot give you the right sound, the right answer. So to know the truth, to listen the truth, you have to go to that level of the core when you will, that can answer from within you, nobody else. You are not inviting anyone else from you, but only thing is, condition is, you have to go to your core. Means the part which never been heard. And that is only possible if it is not put on like layers. All right. The wonderful thing to happen is not an event, but a remember. Wonderful thing is we are now thinking something will happen. It will be great light. I can see that, and fantastic. I will be in the ocean of joy and all those kind of things. This is the thing you are thinking, that is a far off event that's going to happen. It's not that. But remember, this word, very mild looking, the word remember. What does that mean? Remember. Means again, member, union, to be part of what? Your own soul consciousness. Remember means whatever you will remember means you will know whatever soul already knows. That is the wonderful thing. That is the equal say enlightenment. That is the awakening and all those kind of things. When you remember who you are, which is your consciousness, soul consciousness. Okay. You have been taught that good things will come. Enlightenment will happen. Light will shine down. But I tell you, a very quiet truth. Nothing needs to come. Because nothing has ever gone. What people call falling is not a sin. It is self-forgetfulness. You have forgotten who you are. That's all. You have forgotten that you are not just this body. You have forgotten that you were not born to chase after fear. So it hits at the right chord. All of us, we are operating in which, what is our primary operating, source of operation is fear. We are driven by fear. Something bad will happen to me. This, I will not, I will do this, that, on all those kind of things is basically that we are fearful about something. And that's what we do. We don't do certain things because we fear something bad will happen as a repercussion. So we don't do. all those kind of things. It is basically, if you see that every part of our life is governed by certain type of fear, this way or other. Fear from the society, fear from the government, fear from the rules and regulations, fear from the bad people, and fear from our bad names, and fear from like a politics, fear from everything. Fear from losing, fear from all these kind of things. Yeah. So you've forgotten that you are not born to chase after fear. But that's what Babaji is saying, that life we live is basically chasing after fear. Fear governs us. You've forgotten that before you were a name, a role, a story, you were pure presence. You are not all of this. The name or what role you are play or your so-called life, basically a story. Everybody has a story. Yeah. You are not that. You are forgotten that you are pure presence. Just be, You're experiencing life. Just a pure presence, unconditional presence. And that's you, That pure presence has never gone. That's what again and again Babaji is telling, that it is all the other things are not you. The consciousness, your pure presence, that is you. The amazing thing that's about to happen tonight is not that the world will change, but that you will see the world dissolve. The world dissolve means whatever your previous idea about the world will dissolve. World will literally not dissolve, but your concept. What is your world? Your world is how you perceive what is there in your brain. That will dissolve. What is your construct about the world? That will dissolve. When a person remembers who they are, they don't need to fix the past. Here also there's, very, very important things Babaji has mentioned. When a person remembers who they are, means the pure consciousness, who they are, they don't need to fix the past. They don't need to fight the darkness. Light does not conquer darkness. Light just appears and darkness retreats. So this is also what a truth. See, Babaji is saying our normal idea is the light is the good force and darkness is the bad force. So good force has to fight so that to defeat the bad forces. Babaji is saying it is not that. Light just simply comes. It is be. It is its pure presence. Darkness goes automatically. It need not to fight with anything or anyone. Light just appears and darkness retreats on its own. Perhaps you have felt this lately. Things that once mattered have faded. When you come into this awareness or this, the pure presence of that awareness, Babaji is saying you might have, whoever is practicing spirituality, you might have felt that whichever earlier mattered so much, now it does not matter that much. Event is same. But it has faded. So what made it changed? Because you have moved towards the truth. Your vibration has gone up. So that you cannot be trapped into fear like before. Things that once mattered have faded. Old joys no longer feel deep enough. You are tired, but not from doing too much, but from living out of sync with your own soul. You're tired, we are very, exhausted and all. Babaji is saying that is not because we have done too much work. It is because you have just living out of in sync with your own soul. If the soul runs the things, then it has got an infinite power to run. People will not get tired. So this part I should also say that how it works, you live in the moment by moment. Every moment you are guided. So there is no such thing that your expectation, you could not achieve expectation, you got frustrated. Yeah. Like all the negative emotions, anger, frustration, and sadness, and whatever you call it. You know why those emotions comes? Just because I wanted something, I expected something, it didn't happen the way I wanted. Finish. That's why. But when you are fully in sync with your own soul, that scenario will never arise because you are not planning something, you're not expecting anything. You're in a full knowingness and you live moment by moment, 100%. You are in a fully tune with the joy of your soul. So there is no question that you get tired, frustrated, angry, like rejected, devastated, whatnot, many, many things. In modern life, many people think, more this negative thing accumulated, that much, that shows that kind of modern they are. It's just the opposite. Basically, the people are collecting garbage. Yeah, so when you get out of all the garbage, you will be pure, you will be clean, and you are, and you need to find out, import something new. You are that. Anyway, but living out of sync with your soul. That's not a sign of collapse. It's a sign of spiritual growth. So when you can throw up this garbage and you can able to listen to the, or you request soul to guide you moment by moment, when you live that right, you are living a spiritual life, holistic living, enlightened living. That's it. That means it is not a sign of collapse. Earlier, whatever I used to do, way I used to live, that is all gone and all. It's not a sign of, failure. That's what Babaji is saying. It's not a sign of collapse. It's a sign of spiritual growth. You have come out of that. Like earlier, you are a caterpillar in the cocoon. You become a butterfly. It is not that you lost that cocoon. You evolved from there. It's a sign of growth. You become a butterfly. You don't need that cocoon anymore. Anyway, the soul, when ready to remember, okay? The lower self, higher self, merge together. Remember, become member again. Will no longer compromise with the things that make it forget itself. Okay? So how it happens? Why this separation? Because we simply forget who we are. That's why we feel like we are separated. But when we remember, these things doesn't matter. That this question dissolved by itself. So we become together again. That is the truth. 2026 is not a prophecy. It's a resonant door. Those who are ready will hear. Those who are not, they will still go through it, but unconsciously. See, look. So who are conscious, who are awakened, they can say that this is like a just resonant door. Like just you open the door and going to the next hall. Like that. It will be like that. And people who are aware, they can feel that it is, they are evolving, but many people will go, but unconsciously. This particular thing, 2026, it is just a door. So everybody will travel, but some people will go it up consciously and many will go unconsciously. Tonight, you are not asked to believe me. You are only invited to be honest with yourself. Here, I feel Babaji is empowering you. This Babaji is telling, just take control in your own hand, means your soul's hand. Your soul knows everything. If there is a tiny moment within you whispering, there is something deeper than this, then that very moment is where something wonderful is beginning. Not from anywhere else, not from somewhere or not from heaven, from within you. If you can hear that whispering, we call it, I'm sure I might have explained many times, we call it whisper from beyond. Like if soul communicates with that, it's called whispers from beyond. Beyond means beyond physical reality. So Babaji is telling, if there is a tiny moment within you whispering, there is something deeper than this, than that very moment, there is something wonderful is beginning, because you are awakening. You are able to listen to your soul's voice. Tonight, a wave of spirituality is opening. You are not forced, but you are invited. Okay, let me stop here and give you a few other perspective of this, the way we look at it. The 1st January, 1/1/2026. Okay, take 1/1 as 11. Okay. Not 11, 1/1 and 2026. That is, if you add the numbers, how much it will come? That it will be 4 plus 6, 10 again. 2026, yeah? 10. So there is another one there. This particular type of the numbering, that the 3/1, it is angelic number from the beginning of the thing. So that's what saying wave of spirituality is opening. And earlier it is mentioned about the door, when starting, opening, going to the next step, but the consciousness wise, not by the time, what Babaji already explained earlier. It's not about the time, it's about what is happening within us as a humanity in collective. Yeah? You are not forced, but you are invited. When door is open, but whether you like to, it's an invitation, whether you like to cross or not, it's up to you. My dear friend, human consciousness does not awaken within the ringing of a bell. Okay. Probably saying that there are many customs to ring the bell, etc. Human consciousness doesn't awaken with that bell. Yeah? It awakens with the wariness of the souls that have lived too long in separation. So our soul basically telling us that whispers from the beyond, how long you wanted to play the game of hide and seek. Yeah. Come on, wake up, see the truth. Do you see? Humans possess more knowledge than ever before. Possesses more knowledge than ever before. We have got holy information technology stuff. Whatever you need to know, go to the Google and download it instantly, right? So much information we have. So that's why Babaji is saying humans possess more knowledge than ever before. But peace is rather than ever before, rarer than ever before. And where is the peace? Do that more knowledge make you more peaceful? The answer is no. Here let me make a short side note. The purpose of life, we normally teach what is the most important thing is life. I mentioned maybe 100 times. Peace of mind. Not wealth, not possessions, not, big achievement and awards and all those kind of, they're good. I'm not saying they're bad. But what I'm saying is ultimately, if you don't have peace of mind, your own peace of mind, those are useless. If I cannot sleep properly, I don't have a peace in my mind. What do you do with $1 billion in my bank? Or what do you do with having every continent have a one big houses, and I have put somewhere in some port, some yacht. To run that yacht, I need to spend $1 million every day. What's the point? And yes, I'm having a very big thing. If it is about others will, is a very rich man. That's it. Second, third day, they will forget about it. Finish. Everybody is going their own life and busy. Anyway, See, now the humans possesses more knowledge than ever before, but peace is rarer than ever before. That is the truth. There is no peace there. Too much knowledge, but no peace. That is because knowledge cannot replace presence. This peacefulness comes when you are fully aligned with your presence, soul's presence, consciousness, that you are connected with that. Then the knowingness comes. Don't even need to know anything else. So that knowledge cannot replace presence. You can. That is why it is said that it is beyond intellect. You cannot accumulate all the world's information. Still, you cannot experience that the peaceful, blissful state. Say enlightenment. You cannot go there by reading and studying and things like that. It's not possible. So that knowledge cannot replace presence. Tonight, there is no obligatory ritual, no new dogma. Only a very subtle wave is spreading through the collective field of consciousness. The wave of return. You may feel, wave of return means you come back home, like wherever you left the soul's journey. Too many times you are playing hide and seeks and taking different births and doing a lot of things, in certain goals and all. When those, house of cards that drops, then you start asking. First you start blaming, and after things nobody listening, then you start many drama, and then finally you choose to, accept that is the only way out. Babaji is saying this is the call for the return. When you return home, you feel that it is a call from your within. Come home. You may feel it as a need to be alone without being lonely. So we discussed about aloneness and loneliness. In Hindi, we call the ekaki and ekant. There is a difference in it. So you may feel it as a need to be alone without being lonely. A yearning for silence amidst a noisy world. A desire to live authentically, even if it means letting go. You are not forced to walk through this door. Means nobody is telling you have to go through that, otherwise you'll be punished, or you will do that, and something bad will happen. You will be cursed. You will have a sin. Nothing of that sort. Nobody will push you through this door. It is you to choose to walk the path, pass through that door. There is no punishment for turning your back, but your soul will not forget that the door was once open. See, it was written as an invitation, but whether you accept the invitation or not, it's up to you. But it will be on the record that the door did open. You did receive some invitation. You chooses not to accept it. That's up to you. The choice tonight is not an action. It is an inner attitude. Do you dare not to run away from your emotions, not to deceive yourselves with a busyness, not to postpone the truth within? If you just sit still for a few minutes tonight, without begging, without demanding, just whispering in your heart, I am ready to remember. That's enough. Light needs no ritual. Truth needs no noise. I normally mention it as a marketing. Truth does not need any marketing. Truth has a very powerful. It attracts by its own. If somebody is truthful, that person attracts. The truth attracts itself. It has got its power. The truth itself has a power. Anyway, truth needs no noise. Awakening begins when you no longer resist yourself. What will disappear when you step through this door? My dear friend, when you step through this door, don't expect anything new to appear immediately. The first thing that happens is always disintegration. Not all disintegration is loss. Things dissolve only to return you to the truth. This part I normally explain like when a rocket goes to, say, suppose a moon, the different stages, there are some booster rockets, they need to fall off. It's done its purpose, it has falling off. That disintegration of the rocket is not a loss. It is necessary for that actual rocket to go further high up. The top capsule need to go up to the destination. So they did its job and it has to go. So that disintegration is not a loss. It is a process. Something dissolve only to return you to the truth. Means they disintegrate to make the rocket to reach its destination. That's it. In our case, that is the truth. The truth. When the illusion that are something you need to become, the first thing need to dissolve the pressure to become. See how beautiful, yeah? I will read it again. The illusion that you are something you need to become. Means it is the illusion that you are not that. You need to be someone else, something else, or you have to be somewhere else. You have to become something. Then Babaji is saying the first thing to dissolve is the pressure to become. This pressure, when I will get that, when it will happen to me, that pressure has to go. That misunderstanding has to go. This game of chasing something has to go. This pressure has to go. The pressure to be better, the pressure to be right, the pressure to be enlightened enough. You have carried the burden for a long time without realizing it. Even on the spiritual path, you have turned enlightenment into a goal to be achieved. Like it's a management, like a target to be achieved by the end of the year. But I tell you this, your true self has never lacked anything. When the door opens, you suddenly realize you don't need to become the light. You have always been the light, pretending to be the seeker. And so the struggle fades away. In the light of that truth, the struggle goes away. It doesn't matter anymore. I need not to ask question whether the aeroplane can stop in the red light, because I'm in the aeroplane. That's it. The question of light and all, whether it stops or not, the question doesn't matter. And so the struggle fades away, the tension fades away, the comparison fades away. Not because you give up, but because you are no longer lost. 2, the fear of losing yourself when you are no longer in control. The deepest fear of mankind is not death. It is the loss of control, because we like to control everything, including our destiny, including our life, including our relationships, including with our possessions, etc., etc., etc. So, basically, Babaji is saying, it may be unimaginable to some of us that how can I lose control? My life will go out of control. But the spiritual progress comes with the surrender, means losing the control. Life is intelligent enough, it can take care of itself. It does not need my control. Even basically, if I put my control, my brain, I will make it problematic. As for example, our heartbeat. It happens automatically in all of us. Exactly right kind of pressure, right kind of amount of blood goes, whole body gets blood. There is no such thing that suddenly one leg started complaining, I'm not receiving enough blood because hand is upper than me and hand takes it in this area, we are neglected area. Never happened. It's well balanced, everything is doing fine. But suppose this blood distribution thing is given to us to control. Disaster could have been within a few days, if not hours. If we had to control this system, we could have died by heart attack, because we cannot control this anymore. Anyway, so It is the fear of losing yourself when you are no longer in control. The deepest fear of mankind is not death, the loss of control. You're feeling you are losing control. Oh my God, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Much better thing will happen. But you have a free will. You have to willingly give it up. Nobody will demand control from you. That is our misunderstanding. Somebody wants to snatch away the control of my life. No. So that is, universe is much, much higher level of intelligence and the running everything. And you think you are in the control of your life. That's a big joke that when we realize, then only we give up. Before that, you keep trying as many ways as we can. You fear letting go because you think letting go means disappearing. Oh my God, if I give it everything, then I will not exist anymore. I will disappear. I will vanish. I'll be abolished. But letting go is actually returning. When you step through this door, you are no longer trying to control your emotions. You no longer try to control others. You no longer try to control your spiritual journey. And in that very moment, you discover a sacred paradox. When you are no longer in control, you are truly safe. Because if you are not in the control, people say, if my plan has not worked, means divine plan is working. Okay. Safe in presence, safe in the flow of life, safe because you are no longer fighting against what is. Fear disappears, not because the world is less dangerous, but because you are no longer standing apart from it. You are fully aligned with the truth. 3, the old identities that once helped you to survive. You used to be one who had to be strong, the one who had to endure, the one who had to bear responsibility. Means whatever you learn in your practical life, those are the list. The one who had to bear the responsibility, the one who had to understand. Those identities were not wrong. They helped you to survive. But when this door opens, you no longer need to survive. You are allowed to live. The old roles will fall away very gently, not through struggle, but through acknowledgement. I am safe enough to no longer have to play a role. And when that role dissolves, you are not empty, you are open. For the illusion that enlightenment will save you from suffering, that is very subtle. Enlightenment does not eliminate emotions. Enlightenment eliminates the person resisting emotions. See, this is a very important thing. Yeah? Enlightenment doesn't mean that suddenly you become emotionless. It's not that. Yeah? It only relieves you the control over your emotions that you may have. You may perceive that a truly mature person controls his or her emotion. Absolutely not. That makes it complicated. That makes it painful. When you don't resist, emotion will freely flow and disappear. Like a bubble, when you heat up, I normally give a kettle example. Bubble comes when the water hits up, bubble develops and goes out forever. But if you resist, someone trying to resist it, you make it a problem. That is what it is. Whatever naturally releasing, let it go. It's okay. Fine. You can still be sad. You can still hurt. But there is no longer someone inside saying, this should not be happening. Why this is happening? This question will not arise. It is resistance that causes suffering. There is dislike comes. You resist, then the suffering comes. When resistance dissolves, pain is no longer the enemy. It becomes a silent teacher. 5, the feeling of being separated from life, and then the deepest thing that dissolves is the feeling that you are living outside your own life. Let me give this. We call it a witness consciousness. So your life is running, but you are observing. That is how the souls, they operate. So you are Shakshi Bhav, in Sanskrit they say. You are no longer a distant observer. You are no longer feel lost in the world. You realize you were never excluded from life. The separation dissolves, and in that dissolution, there is no loss. When the Ganga meets with the ocean in a Ganga Sagar, that is not a loss for Ganga or the river. Okay, it is expansion. It becomes ocean. It's a promotion, not loss. So here it is saying the separation dissolves, and in that dissolution there is no loss, only a return. What will be born within you, my dear friend, when the old things fade away? Don't rush to seek something new. What is born is not noisy. It does not need a name, but you will recognize it by a very familiar feeling, as if you have just returned home after a very long journey. This home is a soul's, our own being, so returning home. So basically, let me give you a little bit what is meant there. See, normal our tendency is when we change something, we try to replace with something else. So, suppose we change our home, or like gone to a new place or something, we immediately try to fill with our life with something new. Here Babaji is saying that is your programmed mind. You need not to do that. Just let it be. Old one gone, new one, keep it open. Hold it. This particular state, if you can hold it, this domain itself will be the cause of your transformation. You need not to rush to change it with replace with something else. There is no content needed. You just hold on. So that's why it is saying it does not need a name, but it will recognize by a very familiar feeling, as if you have just returned home after a very long journey. No need to fill it immediately with something else. Hold on. Yeah. Only a silence that does not need to be escaped. It will be silent, but it will not be fearful. You need not to run away from the silence. Experience the silence. The silence newly born within you is not the silence of isolation. It is a silence of being with yourself without discomfort. Earlier, we actually used to run away from our own self. Yeah? We cannot see the truth of ourselves. There's so many masks we have put on to be living smart and in the society and all those kind of things. Now we cannot face the truth ourselves. But here we learn how to be with our own self without any discomfort. And the higher version of that is self-love. We need to learn it. We need to, inculcate it out of those processes. You have to just accept the truth. You need to convert yourself into a saint to love you. Okay? You just be your truth, your higher self. It's beautiful enough to be loved. Sattam Sivam Sundaram. Only thing you have to stop bringing the images that you understand earlier is a good thing and better thing and higher thing and all those kind of things. No, just be. If you touch the truth, it is so beautiful. It is the self-love will evolve. You need not to have any other things. No need to create anything new or try to pretend to be someone else. Just be yourself. Yeah. Anyway, you don't need to sound to feel the void. You don't need the thoughts to prove your existence. There is somebody who gives quoting, I think, therefore I am. Completely wrong. I think Confucius or somebody's quote it is. You think, therefore you are your lower self. When you stop thinking, thoughts are your product of your ego. When you stop thinking, ego has no control. And from that, you basically in that state is fully aligned with your consciousness, soul consciousness. then you become able to operate from your higher self. As long as you keep thinking, you are stuck at your lower self, intelligent self, uh, intellect. Anyway, you don't need thoughts to prove your existence. That's what Babaji is saying. So I think, therefore I am. So if I don't think, therefore I don't exist. Forget about this misunderstanding. If you don't think, you exist at the higher level. If you think, you exist in the lower level. Presence itself is enough. In that silence, you no longer seek answers. You become the space containing all the answers. See how beautifully Babaji is saying. See, it is called knowingness. You need to seek for answer. You know it, and the matter ends there. Yeah, and that is very fulfilling. Not ego boosting, not claiming I know better than anybody else, because that comparison does not apply there. It comes into the knowingness, is so beautiful, it ends there. You need not to express it, you need not to claim it, you need not to, highlight it or publish it, no need. Knowingness itself is good enough. 2, a wisdom that does not come from thinking. That's very good. See, we assume that if I'm a great thinker, philosopher, I develop a wisdom. Completely wrong. Wisdom develops when you stop thinking, start aligning with the truth. You start downloading the Brahmagyan, the universal knowledge, and from that you get your wisdom. The awareness develops. So that's why Babaji is saying the wisdom does not come from thinking. It's a misunderstanding again. You'll be surprised to realize you know more but think less. See, know more, think less. Because by thinking less, you'll be getting connected. You remember our earlier last week session on silence? Silence is the power of communication. So when you become silent, both externally and internally, then that passage opens up wherein you can download the universal knowledge. And that, enrich your wisdom. You'll be surprised to realize that you know more but think less. By thinking less, you know more. This is how it is. Because you establish channel more frequently, you download that universal knowledge, the truth, then you know more. This is wisdom that does not come from analysis, but from being in tune with the truth. You know when to speak, you know when to be silent, you know when to step forward, and when let things unfold naturally. This part we call it living moment by moment. You'll be guided. It is a misunderstanding. If I don't take the decision, then who will take on my behalf? Your soul will, if you allow to operate. Definitely it will. But you have to allow, you have to silence yourself. You have to stop taking the responsibility of everything. Then it will operate automatically. Okay, you know when to step forward and when to let things unfold naturally. Not because you are smarter, but because you no longer hinder the flow of universal wisdom. Just I spoke about that. Universal knowledge. It flows through you. You don't need anything. You need your smart brain to act and take decision. No need. That is your ego. 3, a love that does not need to possess. Unconditional love. It does not create any kind of ownership. Love born behind this door does not cling, does not demand, does not fear loss. These are the characteristic of common love we know in the external world. Yeah? Babaji is saying is none of them. Does not cling, doesn't demand, does not fear loss. It does not need any more to change for you. To love them, change for you to love them. It does not need you to sacrifice yourself. This love is that flows naturally, like light shining, without asking who deserves it. Here I have given many times example of sunlight. The blade of grass and the big tree get equal amount of sunlight. Why sun gives us light? Because it's nature to give light. Finish. It does not judge who deserves it, who not, and all those things. Who criticize it and who appreciate it. It doesn't matter. It keeps giving. When this love is present, you no longer love to be loved in return. There is no give and take. You just express it like giving life. Sun does not demand you have to give me something back. They will not send you the bill for the light. It is giving it to you. Light, heat, and all those things. The energy is giving to you. Yeah. You love because your very being is love for a very gentle courage. So I'm sure I'm also spoken about this thing minimum 100 times, that we are manifestation of love. Prema Sarupa. Originally, there is love and light, this primordial forces. So we are created out of love, pure love. So expressing love is natural. We need not to import anything. So you love because your very being is love, for a very gentle courage. Make no mistake, awakening does not weaken you. It gives rise to a very quiet kind of courage. Courage is to live authentically. Courage to say no without feeling guilty. Courage to let go of what no longer resonates, even if you have been attached to it for a long time. You don't need to fight. Just don't betray the truth within. There is always truth. So don't try to, give like a, what is called, makeup on that face of the truth. No need. Just be it is, the way it is. 5, a feeling of being guided from within. And finally, the most profoundly born things is unbind faith. The most profoundly born thing is unbind faith. Not faith in me. It's not about believing in doctrines. It's about believing in living wisdom that breathes within you. You are no longer lost because you are no longer seeking your way outside yourself. Every step becomes a prayer. Every breath becomes a journey within the source. My dear friend, this door does not require you to be perfect. Only it requires you to be honest. I read it again. Huh? This door does not require you to be...
Blue and white.
Okay, it does not require you to be perfect. It only requires you to be honest. Be who you are. Finish. That's honesty. Also, it is also called honest means you are a person of character. The character has nothing to do with the morality. In spirituality, character means congruence in thoughts, words, and actions. That's it. That is called honest. Whatever you're thinking, that's what you're saying, that's what you're doing. If you can do that, you are honest. No need to judge whether originally your thinking was right or wrong. Doesn't matter. But same. Then you are honest. And if you are feeling a very slight tremor as you read this, if you feel a little shaky when reading this or hearing this, you know that the wonderful thing is not about to happen. It has already begun. In the very moment you listen, my personal message to the souls listening, my dear friend, if you are still here, you are still listening, it means your soul has heard the call long time ago. So don't think it is an accidental that you are listening this. So it is you have so chosen that you need to hear all those kind of things just to remember things, what is already known. Nothing new. It's just that today you are no longer turning away. I'm not speaking to you as a serious superior master. I'm speaking to you as someone who has remembered something, you are gradually remembering, slowly remembering. And so these words are not for everyone, they are for you. One, you are not here to be like anyone else. Listen carefully. You are not born to be copy of any master, not of me. Look at that. Not of me, not of those you admire. If you try to be right, you will lose the truth. See, if you try to copy someone, no matter who he or she is, any master, but in that process, you will lose you, no? Your truth. You are unique. So in the attempt to copy someone, you will lose your uniqueness. That is not the truth. That's what Babaji is telling. If you try to be right, you will lose the truth. Light does not repeat itself. Each soul is a unique expression. Just now I mentioned uniqueness. Unique expression of the source. So don't ask, whom should I be like? Ask, what within me is waiting to live? Live, L-I-V, not live going. To live life. When you are faithful to your inner truth, you have served the source most completely. Now the time here in my clock is 7:47. That is my angelic number of my birth time. Very important. Okay. 2, don't rush to heal. Listen first, but to listen the message. Healing will happen, but get the message. Understand that this is the what. When it was created, what was the message there? What is the lesson there to learn? If you get that learning, things will automatically disappear. We have been taught to heal, but very few people tell you that what is not listened to will never be healed. Means if you miss the message, if you miss the learning, again you will face the same similar kind of thing, because you have not learned the lesson. You have not listened to the message. It is not the external factors which is causing. Anything happening in your world, in your life, is basically trying to teach you something. It is your soul's plan. If you don't get the lesson, if you don't learn it, then again it has to happen. So it doesn't matter how many times you heal yourself or come out of this, still it keep repeating. So don't rush to fix sadness. Don't rush to erase hurt. Don't force yourself to be positive. Sit down with yourself as you would sit down with a trembling child. Don't ask too many questions. No analysis. Just be there. When the presence is deep enough, the wound will heal itself. If you are basically, your soul can heal everything. The only thing presence means you get fully connected with your soul. It has got full power and the purity, it can heal anything. So that is important. Not searching for how I can fix this. Leave that searching. Leave that your mind is getting here, where to get it, how to get it, and all this kind of. Just be. When you connect, that is called your self-healing. If you go to the deep meditative stage, and that is called Turiya state, in that state, Turiya healing happens. It automatically happens. You need not do anything. Only thing Babaji is saying, you have to be that state. That's all. That's good enough to heal yourself. So when the presence is deep enough, the wound will heal itself. 3, you will no longer fit in some old paths. I say this so you don't panic. You delve deeper into the truth. Some relationships will fade. Some old joys will no longer resonate. Some ambitions that once excited you will suddenly become empty. That does not mean you are losing anything. It means you are changing frequencies. We talked about vibration. All the spiritual higher and lower is all about the vibration, frequency. It only means that you are changing the frequency. You are going into the higher frequency. So low frequency stuff will not be there. It will just disappear from that. It will drop off from that system. It means you are changing frequencies. Don't try to drag yourself back to the places that no longer fit. Don't blame yourself for being different. Spiritual growth always comes with a very gentle partnings. Means, here also I give one example to understand this. Very gentle partnering means, suppose you are climbing up. So in stairs. So first foot, we put it in third step, then another fourth. Then we leave the third one and place it to the fifth. Then leave the fourth one and put it to the sixth. And that's how we climb the stairs, right? So if you don't leave the third, how you move up? There's nothing wrong with the third step, but you have to let go. That is what it is saying. So spiritual growth always comes with a very gentle partnings. Whatever in earlier part in your life, you have to leave there. Nothing wrong there. But it has to go so that you can climb up. For don't fear the loneliness of the awakening. Also, I was saying that don't fear that you become a lonely and you cannot talk and all those things. It is our like a mental pattern. Some people, they cannot even be in the silence. Every time we're watching a TV or maybe in the car, silently even cannot drive, to start something, some music or something. I mean, silence is not that, because mind needs something to be occupied with. I was saying, don't fear the loneliness. Be silent, be lonely. It's okay. In that, through that state, the awakening will come. There is a stage where you will feel you no longer belong to the crowd, but not yet completely at peace in silence. Yeah, you are in transition. That's quite possible. In this intermediate ground, very fragile, very scared. Don't fill it with noise. Like I said, don't start radio. Don't suddenly start calling somebody and suddenly switch on TV to and something and some verbiage is going on there. Don't do that. Don't run away from the vomit with busyness. You become busy with something, suddenly started doing something, some occupying something else. In this solitude, that you will hear the voice that never leaves you, that voice of your eternal self. When you befriend solitude, you will never be alone again. 5. Slow down, not to escape life, but to meet life. You don't need to leave the world. You just need to let the world drag you away. Eat mindfully. Mindfully means whatever you are eating, we just keep eating, and it's called emotional eating. Thinking something and keep eating. Just, if you can just feel it, smell it, the texture, in the taste, many things you can do at the time of eating. That's called mindful eating. Even if you eat mindfully, it becomes a meditation. I was saying, don't absent-mindedly eat mindfully. Enjoy each and every particle in it. That's called mindful eating. Walk in presence. When you walk, you feel when each step is, putting on the ground, how it's felt, and, how your whole body is moving around. You have to, that is walk in a presence. Speak truthfully. So that your mind, you not to apply whether I have tell a lie before and now I have to cover it up and all. Just tell the truth. Simple. Don't try to make everything sacred. There's no need that everything need to be very high end, and no need. Be real. Everything need to be as it is. Let the sacred do everything. A gentle touch, a sincere gaze, a moment of unhurriedness. In these very ordinary things, the light is still alive, is alive. If you forget, I'm still here. There will be days when you forget. There will be times when you doubt. There will be moments when you feel lost again. That does not make you a failure. It makes you human. When that happens, don't blame yourself. Just stop, take a deep breath, and remember, you have never walked alone. I'm not a I'm not on a mountaintop. I'm not an image. I'm in the awareness that is gradually unfolding within you. A final message this night, if tonight you do nothing at all, except listen to these words with all your heart, that's enough. I repeat, a final message this night. If tonight you do nothing at all, except listen to these words within all your heart, that's enough. There's a huge amount of Shaktipat involved into that message, in that line. Okay, I'm sure many of you already got it. No promises needed, no vows needed, just a very gentle sincerity. I'm ready to live authentically. The rest, life will take care of itself. My dear friend, tonight is not the beginning of a new year. It is the continuation of a very ancient promise that your soul has long whispered. When the time comes, we will remember. And now you are remembering. Namaste. That's all. My reading of that message of Babaji. Okay. So, any one of you have anything, question or comment? Then you can do now. Yes, Rashmi. Yeah, go ahead.
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam.
It's not a what do you call question, but I wanted to share that I had a lot of questions in mind, but every word, every sentence was a reassurance from Babaji, and all my questions were answered. Especially the way we are going, I felt we were like a rat race. We are running. We are not pausing to think anything, especially for materials benefits. So if we don't run, that there is that fear of missing out. If we run, we might not be doing justice to many other parts of life. So I was in that Vivida Avastha. So this kind of got the clarity as to how we should live. So it's a guidance for the entire life, and it answered all my questions. Thank you so much, Guruji. Thank you so much.
God bless. Oh, Mangalam.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Anybody else, anything to ask or share? Aditi?
Will you kindly post the transcript in the group?
Okay, sure. I will do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. If there is no further comment, so we'll conclude today's session. So we'll just say Shanti part and conclude it for today. Oh. Sarvesham swastirvavatu. Sarvesham shantirvavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनो सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ मङ्गलम्।